Welcome to the Business Spotlight podcast. My name is David Beeson. I am your host for today's conversation. I'm going to start that over. Like I said, I'm still getting over sickness, so I'm a
It's
little
fine. No
congested.
problem.
Um, Welcome to the Business Spotlight podcast. My name is David Beeson. I am your host for today's conversation, and my guest today is Cricket Lee, the owner of Apparel Genetics. We're going to be talking about her business, journey to business ownership, challenges, best practices, and share a peek of what it's really like to build and operate a business. Cricket, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here today. I would love for you
Hi,
to give us a
David.
little bit of background of who you are and tell us a little bit about your business as well.
Hi, David. It's so great. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here today. Um, my background is I am a product development and launch specialist, and I have launched many uh, fashion brands into the industry. And I've worked with like 4 acquisitions to incorporate the departments together. I have had 2 exits. I've had 4 patents and invented several things. I'm an inventor as well. And my current journey is a specific fit standard for apparel. And I've been working for 26 years on a fit by shape standard, and it's called body codes. And it replaces size essentially by having women use a tool online. Eventually, there'll be men too. And then once they are identified with their body shape, their body type shape in our system, then the brands that license our system will make clothes that always fit them. So there's no more returns related to fit or no more waste. As you may know, there's a $350 billion returns in problem in the US alone, and that's just fit related.
Yeah, no,
So,
that's crazy. I didn't even know that number was that high. I mean, it makes sense. I guess a lot of people do return things because they're like, "Oh, I like this. It says it fits me," and then you try it on at home, and it's like, "Oh, I don't like how it fits here. I don't like how it fits here."
well, and it's not just the return because when you get it, it doesn't fit. It's now there's a huge problem around what they call bracket purchases, which is where somebody will buy 2 or 3 sizes in one style to make sure it fits
Mhm.
when they get it. And then you have to go through the whole, you know, process of returns and replenishment or, discarding it or,
Yeah,
turning it into a second in mass stores or whatever.
yeah, no, makes sense. So kind of setting the stage for the viewers and listeners. Generally speaking, what is your current ownership structure like? Are you the sole founder and owner? Do you have outside investors, a business partner?
I'm an owner with my daughter, and we are pretty well equal. I've got controlling interest, but we are own the majority of the company. And then the rest of my cap chart really has my team and some advisors that are been with me for a long time. It's a new company. We started it in at the end of 2020 and created our third iteration of this fit system. I've been through 2 iterations before in other companies. So this particular um, journey includes just people around me who are legacy. They know what to do, are new people who are growth that I've brought in, like technology people and advisors, retail advisors, and so forth.
Gotcha.
I
Well,
have not taken in outside investment yet. We are working on a seed raise right now. So we should.
gotcha. Cool, awesome. Well, tell me, what role you currently play in the business. Like, what's a day in the life of Cricket?
Chief cook and bottle washer. Actually, when you're in a startup, you get up in the morning, you look, okay, what do I have to do today?
Yeah,
Um, it's really kind of the buck stops here. So I get up and I, have lists of things. I'm kind of an old school person. I have a list of things that I want to accomplish for the day, and I've got access to contractors. I've got access to advisors, and I really don't have besides me and my daughter. I really don't have a big staff or anything. It's mostly contract people. When you're in a startup, you don't want to burden yourself with overhead. So
yeah,
this is my uh, this is my office in my house in Austin, and so that's where I work from. And right now. And as we raise
gotcha.
money, we will probably get an office in LA because one of the brands we're launching with is based in LA and we can move things there. So
Gotcha. If you don't mind me asking, what brand are you launching with?
I can't really say yet because we're
Gotcha.
we're not finished with the contract, but it's a premium denim brand. It's a really beautiful brand, and we tested early on with Nordstrom, Macy's, QVC,
Awesome.
and designer boutiques, and we went direct to consumer. We sold $10 million of a black pant on Facebook only
Oh,
in 15
wow.
months. In 15 months, so it was pretty phenomenal. So we're
That's
now,
awesome.
isn't it awesome? I know, but anyway, so we're excited about this journey, and we're going back to Nordstrom and Macy's and so forth, soon. So I've got some real heavy hitters from the industry now that can see the vision of what I'm trying to do. When I tested early on, I was really way too early, and the industry wasn't ready for change. But I think
Yeah.
now they're open because of technology. They understand more about technology, and there's nothing like what we're doing.
Yeah, I love Nordstrom's men's section. They have like some of the best, like nicer, higher end like t-shirts. I'm a big t-shirt guy, but I like to have like nicer material whenever it comes to my t-shirts. So I always love
Hmm.
Nordstrom's. I go and shop there a lot. Probably half my closet is either Nordstrom's or Oakley. So
Oh,
it's
that's
pretty much
cool.
all my stuff.
Yeah, they're a great store, and they just went private, with the company in Mexico this last
Yeah.
year. So they're now back in control of their lives, and we really love them. I mean, they're great partners.
Yeah. So when you look at your role, how many hours would you say you currently spend working in your business, so the job itself, and how many on the business strategy planning, things like that per week?
Wow, that's a good question. I think strategically, I'm always thinking strategically, and a lot of my mind work happens like sitting in bed or on my couch with my,
Yeah.
with a notepad, just thinking through what's next. But basically, I've not veered from my original vision since I started 26 years ago. It's always
Gotcha.
been a fit standard. It's just taken a lot of turns to get here. I think as far as doing the work, like I said, I have a lot of help, but I do a lot of the work myself because we're in R&D. We have to have fit trials. We have to look at a lot of women to be able to do a fit system. We don't do a fit model like the way the industry does it. It's totally revolutionary the way we do it.
Yeah, yeah, no, makes sense. Um, so overall, from like a standard work week being like 40 hours, how many hours would you say you're putting in currently?
Wow. I don't know, maybe 50 or something.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I used to work 24, I used to work day and
Yeah.
night. I still work at night. I'll wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and start doing emails. So I can't really quantify it by time because my brain never kind of turns off.
Yeah.
So I would say probably I actively work 40 to 50 hours a week and
Gotcha,
then
gotcha.
thinking all the time.
Yeah, yeah, no, makes sense. I'm exactly the same way, actually. I'm like yesterday, I work in the film industry and we had our cinematographer for a movie that I'm working on drop last second. We're supposed to film in 3 weeks. So I'm making cold calls all day yesterday. Finally found a guy. And then my wife's like, hey, sit down for 15 minutes. Let's watch a TV. Let's watch like a little bit of TV or something. I'm sitting down. I'm like, okay, time to relax. And I just couldn't. I just couldn't relax. I was like, I still have like five other things I need to get done. So we're watching TV, and in my head, I'm still like, okay, I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this.
My partner says to me at least 3 times a night, "Are you going to put your phone down?
Yeah.
Are you going to watch this with me or whatever?" Like I try to spend time with him, but
Yeah,
you're
that's
right. That's just like what's going on with you, especially when you've got something that you have to address and it's an issue that you've got to solve.
yeah,
Because
exactly. And what I normally do in the film industry is I'm the problem solver. That's like my job. That's my role because I produce a lot of stuff. So it's like most of the time it's ever a problem happens and everyone kind of turns to me and is like, what do we do? And I'm like, give me like a day and I'll have answers. I just need one day to think and figure it out. So um
well, we should do a podcast on you and how AI has affected your job.
oh man, it's been something after all. Don't get me started on it. It's yeah.
Well, I'm trying to go ahead.
AI, I think, has a lot of benefits for the film industry and a lot of negatives at the same time.
Hmm.
So, luckily,
Well,
there
I'm
seems
trying.
to be a pretty big boycott currently for AI in
Well,
the films,
I
which is good.
well, I know, and it's like I read something from a gentleman the other day, and it was saying, that they're trained to defend themselves. So this guy criticized an AI bot, and it attacked him and just killed his reputation. And it was
Oh wow.
programmed. It was programmed to do that. So, like, when is the day when we wake up and they realize that they're that they're in charge.
Yeah, exactly. We're on a slippery slope right now with AI, I think, in a lot of ways. I think AI has its benefits, but there's a lot of negatives with it, I think, as well.
Yeah.
So I'm curious on your journey of owning businesses. What made you want to start that as opposed to like working for someone else, and what was the transition like for you?
Oh, I've never worked for anyone else. I had
Oh, wow.
my first product when I was 14. I was making lunch pail purses for my girlfriend's mothers. I had my own collection in a little boutique when I was like 17, and I did work my way through becoming a graphic designer, and then moved from that into having advertising agencies. But I've had very few jobs in my life, and I just like being independent and kind of a control freak. So I like doing things my way, and I don't like somebody to tell me how to do it and what to do. And it's caused me problems, especially working with VCs. I couldn't work with the VCs that came in because they wanted to do things differently, and I'm like, that's not the vision. You
Yeah,
can't turn
yeah.
this into an e-commerce business. Nobody cares. This is a fit problem. This is a fit problem with all women. It needs to be brand agnostic. So that's the main thing that I've had to fight for, is the brand agnostic, because the fashion industry uses fit as a brand attribute
Yeah.
systematically. And it's hard to say, no, what if you just have the consumer in a database with their fit and you make clothes for them? It's like, they're like, what are you talking about? It's very
Yeah.
revolutionary.
Yeah, it's like yeah, a lot of people, especially if the industry hasn't been that way for a long time, trying to come in and show change, even if it's a positive change, it's still change. So a lot of people will view it negatively at first.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but during your journey so far with this business, what has been your biggest roadblock or hurdle that you guys had to overcome?
Well, two, I would say. First of all, I had very successful tests in the beginning, but I got caught up in politics in the industry,
Mm,
who didn't see me as the kind of person that should lead out their company because of the way I looked. Because I was older, I was not skinny like New York City, like the fashionistas in New York City. So I ran into issues about that, and even though the women loved what I was doing, I just couldn't get headway there.
yeah.
The second issue roadblock was that when I started I sold $10 million worth of a little black pant online on Facebook in like 15 months. It was scaling so fast that I hired an operator and I let her have the checkbook.
Mm,
Don't do that. Don't
yeah.
ever do that. So I let her have the checkbook, and I let her bring in investors, and then they immediately started trying to bankrupt the company so they could take it away from me. It's just brutal out there.
Wow.
So I went through that. I went through like several hostile takeovers until I ended up walking away from everything and starting over. So the old company, is off. It's not there anymore. But anyway, it's just, those are the biggest hurdles I've faced. Those two, but they're daily. There are hurdles, especially in this environment today. Only 1.9% of capital goes to women in the world, in the VC world, in the investment world.
Wow.
So you've got angel investors, but they typically put in like 25,000. Well, if you get too many angel investors, then your cap chart is a mess because you've got too many investors. So I went through that as well. But it's really interesting trying to raise money in this environment. Now, if you're 22 and you're male, it's pretty easy. If you've got a great idea and you've got a background in technology or whatever, it's kind of easy to get money. But right now, I would say the top AI has been like the top investment, um, criteria for a lot of investors for a while. It's not anymore. I'd say med tech is big,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I read something
health.
about AI last year that like last year it like the market like essentially they put so much into AI that there was no like return on investment whatsoever and they lost like $12 billion in AI last year or something like that just off the people who
Well,
invested in it.
well, just think about it. How many people do you have to get on it? Especially, let's say it's a B2B solution. How
Hmm.
many subscriptions do you have to have? And how much can you charge for a subscription? Like people kept trying to push me into subscription model. It's like I can't make any money doing that,
Yeah.
a subscription model. Now, if you're consumer based totally, then you can do a subscription model. So companies like, Stitch Fix or whatever in the fashion industry who charge so much per month, even they have had a hard time, you know, over time. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's an interesting journey, just trying to maneuver your way through it. And also, when I started this company, you could raise money on an idea and on your ability to put together the idea. But that's not so anymore. The
Yeah.
entrepreneur has to take it through proof of concept. Well, what does that look like? That's expensive.
Hmm.
So, especially when you've got R&D involved. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting challenge today raising money.
Yeah, definitely. Well, kind of transitioning over into marketing. So I also have a background in marketing. My dad owns a marketing company, so I've worked in marketing pretty much since I was born. I've known about marketing and been in the industry. So I'm always curious what successful businesses are doing. What kind of different marketing strategies do y'all have in place currently?
Well, we are working, we have a lot of shape-based information. We've done a whole lot of research. So we have like an algorithm that my data guru has put together that can approach like 250 million households by shape in the US.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and because we understand shapes and we have enough people that we've done research with, we're able to articulate that into algorithms that we can use for, outreach, shape outreach, like in Meta and so forth.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah.
So
Um,
that's one thing. Another thing is I'm able to get PR. I've been featured in cover of Wall Street Journal and Today's Show a couple of times, GMA. And so the media likes the idea of a fit standard and the consumer likes it. So I will just keep pushing until I make it through.
yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. How was it? I'm curious. How was it being on the Today Show? I bet that was super cool.
Well, the first time I was on, Pink and Antonio Banderas were on there, so that was fun.
Oh, that's cool.
But what you learn about media today is that it's usually like I got on there because a big retailer wanted to kind of show me up. So it
Hmm.
was me and this big retailer, and they were trying to show, what they were doing. But what happened with me is I had 500,000 women come to my website. So people liked my message. The second time I was on there, I had the editor-in-chief of Cosmo and a woman who was Stacy London, who was a big fashionista at the time. And they said, well, women love the idea and we love the idea of a fit by shape. But the issue is it's between the designer and the consumer. Like who's going to win? Because the consumer will demand it, but the fashion industry may not want to change the way they do things. So
Yeah.
that's how I learned to go direct. That happened before I went direct to consumer. So, it's interesting in the media because it's somewhat jaded from time to time because somebody big will get you on there to kind of show you up sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not all PR anymore. There's a lot of brand integration in the news.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, kind of talking a little bit about team building. How big currently is the team?
Well, I have between like I have about 5 people that work with me constantly
Hmm.
and in the fit research and the technology, and then I have like about 4 or 5 advisors that work with me, and then I have contractors that come in and out as I need them.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. And how would you describe your leadership style in business? And has it changed over the years?
Um, I don't know that it's changed a lot over the years. I've tried to be more conscious about things, like I said, being someone who likes to make sure everything's, I mean, innovators like me usually like to be in control of everything, and I've had to kind of let that go some
Yeah.
and and listen to people around me. So that's kind of changed a lot. Um, and I don't know. I think that's the main thing is letting other
Yeah.
people do the messaging or whatever.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, I think we'll do a couple rapid fire questions if you're ready.
I'm ready.
What is the key to success for you?
Constantly saying I can do it and staying focused on the vision and never letting anybody tell you you can't.
I love that.
That's
What is
one.
one piece of advice you have for other business owners?
Um, Keep your eye, there's a lot of people that say watch the next 200 miles or the next, that you're going down the road. I think you have to do differently. I think you have to keep the end goal in mind every day,
Yeah.
where you're really headed for.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. What's a good book or podcast you're reading or listening to right now?
Oh, I love Andy uh, Walsh has a podcast called Startups. He is he talks about founders and he interviews a lot of people. So it's really good for me right now to be listening to that one because it gives me a lot of insight into everything from scaling your LinkedIn to how people approach exits and putting together cash, funding cash or finding investors.
Yeah. This is kind of a fun question I always like to ask. If you had a little bit of magic dust and you could choose one spot in your business to sprinkle it, everything there would be perfect. Where would it be and why?
Um, Cash,
Yeah.
more cash because you always need because cash is king. That would
Yeah.
be it. Just more cash and I don't think anything else is missing. It's just that every startup that's bootstrapped can use more cash.
Yep. Definitely agree with you there. Well, before we get to the final question of the day, would you like to share with our audience how they can follow you, learn more, contact you?
Well, I am my company's called Apparel Genetics and it's an online um, it's a website online. I'm about to launch a company called One Gene, and it's password protected right now. But if you contact me through Apparel Genetics, you can learn more about that, the brand. So it's got with body codes. So every brand that carries us has to have with body codes on it. It's powered by body codes.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, yeah, well, we've come to the final question of the day, and that is what is most inspiring to you today?
I think people who've what inspires me most is innovators who are able to continue the journey until they break through.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Um, well, this was an awesome conversation, Cricket. I really enjoyed getting to hear your story, so thank you so much for sharing. I just encourage all of you watching to come back and watch the show again because Cricket really did have some great insights for business. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so we get notifications every time a new conversation drops, just like this one. Thank you to everyone who joined us today, and a special thanks to you, Cricket, for being with us. We really
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much. Appreciate it, David.
I will see you all in the next episode.